Welcome to our next episode of the Luxury Leadership Talks, a podcast and a videocast in which I interview and meet stunning leaders in various luxuries industries. It can be in wine and spirits, in fashion, high-end jewelry, cars, and also travel. And that's what we are going to do today. I will make you travel high up in the air together with an amazing woman, one of the few women who managed to climb the highest summit on our Earth, Mount Everest, with its 8,848 meters. And not only she climbed Mount Everest, but she also created one of the most exclusive, luxurious expedition agencies that allows clients to discover the wonderful area of the Himalayan mountains. Welcome, namaste, Andrea Sherpa Zimmermann.
Namaste.
Namaste. That's what we say now in Nepal.
Exactly. And if you go higher up to the Himalaya, it would be Tashidalek.
Oh, Tashidalek. Yeah. Andrea, how does it feel when you are standing at 8,000 meters on the summit of Mount Everest? What goes through your mind?
First of all, you are focused on the downhill, actually, on the descent, because as long as you're not back to base camp, the expedition is not done, and you haven't been to the top. So in one way, you have been, of course, but the expedition is really done when you are safely back at base camp. Mm-hmm. And after this, it's just a feeling that, you know, my husband, he told me when we were on the top, because I had the chance to climb together with my husband, mm-hmm. and we could stand more than 1.5 hours on the top of Mount Everest, wow. Admiring a sunrise like you have in the nicest photo books. He just said, you know, you're on the top of the world. Higher up, it's not possible, or we have to go to the moon. So these are kind of feelings when you're up there. Yeah, wow, that's true. And the sunrise, it's like if you would be in a plane. It's coming really from down. So you see the mountains with this sunrise just coming up. So I think there are not enough words to describe it. It's just magical.
Magic sensation.
Exactly.
How did you get to do that? I mean, here we are in an extreme world. I know luxury loves extremes in a sense. We don't like average. What you are doing, it's extreme. I also know that you're an extreme sports person, but extreme mountain climbing. You've done several super high mountains, and of course the highest one. What's your story? How did you get there?
I think, you know, first of all, it's the passion of the mountain. Mm-hmm. And I'm a former elite athlete and a sports lawyer, specialized really in international sports law. And I think all the sports world and the fascination to see to which limits your body can go and until where you can push it. Mm-hmm. As we know all, this is the death zone. Is scientifically, it has proven we are in the death zone. We are evolving in an environment where there is no human being, and we are actually we don't belong there.
It's not our world, right?
Not at all. Not at all. So for me, actually, it was a kind of luxury to be able to climb on these divinities as they are for the Sherpas.
Yes.
That they let us go through, that we had the chance to go on the summit, mm-hmm. and then safely back home. So I think the first word which drives us together with my husband is the passion. The mm-hmm. passion of being in that environment, of having this deep relationship with the mountain, that you're gonna learn that you have to accept what will be the mountain's decision. That's just, you have to be part of an environment, but you will always stay the second one. And that's actually just, shall I say, it's a privilege to be up there. It's really a privilege to be able to be up there and then come down safely. Yeah.
But as a child, I mean, did your parents already take you to the mountains? Where are you born? Is that an environment that has always been part of your life, or did you explore it later on once you got to know your husband?
No, I was really almost we say in Switzerland that you fall into the pot, you know, and I fall into this mountain pot, not for high mountaineering, this not necessarily, but always with this environment besides us, having the mountains close first in the, so I'm from Switzerland, and so in the Bernese upland first, and then now we moved to the valleys, so it's just we have this need to be close to the mountains. So yes, we have this, it's in the genes.
It's in the genes. And so where did you get to meet your husband? Maybe it's a very intimate question, but it's not something very usual to get married to a Sherpa. And if I'm not mistaken, it's the big boss of all Sherpas that is guiding the expeditions there in the Himalayan mountains.
Yeah, when we talk about genes, it's true that anyway, for my husband, the passion for the mountain was in the genes, or the mountain environment, because he was born in the high altitude of the Himalayan mountains, and he was for years he was the leader of the climbing Sherpas for different expedition groups, and it was just a meeting at higher than 5,600 meters during my first 8,000 meter peak. He was the leader of the expedition Sherpas there.
Wow.
So not
and this was the beginning of a big story, because then you created together a company which is called Wild Yak Expeditions, right?
Exactly.
And you are, if we can say that, probably the most luxurious, the most or one of the most exclusive agencies that allows people who are curious and maybe sportive enough and crazy enough and very excited about the whole culture in the Himalayan mountains to discover high summits and the whole culture that is involved in that. Can you tell us a bit more about this company that you created together?
Yeah, exactly. We created this company together. Driven by our passion, that's for sure, but driven also by the expertise of my husband, the Himalayan expertise, and then this. I'm a pure Swiss product, so there is this Swiss made behind, that's for sure. You know, the Swiss quality which is behind. This is very important, but for both of us, and I think one of the main drive that was really important for us is to support the local economy. And to give work to the people. And this is really something, this is the purpose of why we created our company. And as you said, whether the person wants to make a crazy climb, Mount Everest or any other mountain, because there is not only Mount Everest, of course, there are so many mountains in the Himalaya, it can be lower too. But there is also all this part, we are, passionate about the culture. My husband is from there, so we have really this marriage of authentic culture that we can discover. And I had the chance to realize my dream of climbing Mount Everest together with him. So you climb Mount Everest together with your husband, it's not every day either. And so the possibility to make people, the Himalaya makes it's a dream for many people, but not necessarily. It sounds like a dream, not necessarily for the high altitude. Himalaya, it's the culture also, and there are so many interesting cultural sites to discover. So you don't need actually only to climb. You can come for a sightseeing. You can go for a cultural tour. But the fact that we are both, involved in that country makes you. Gives you the possibility to discover any kind of things that are off the beaten tracks.
So I think you do a lot in Nepal, Bhutan,
and Tibet.
And Tibet as well. Make us a little bit dream. If we say, because I think you have several categories. You have Wild Yak Expeditions, but then you also have like super luxury, very customized travel. If somebody says, I want to do something totally tailor-made, crazy, everything's possible. So you have like these two categories. If somebody says I want to discover absolutely unique experiences, what can they do? What is a crazy dream maybe that somebody can experience when they are traveling?
Of course, it will really depend on each person's own interest, because this kind of countries, the book is huge. You can create so many different things, and the fact that we have Wild Yak Expeditions, this is already for quality journeys, whether in group or private. But then we have exactly this exclusive luxury product that we love to tailor-made, actually. You can design something. You can design a travel hub there. You can, for example, I don't know, somebody who would like to discover Nepal. Nepal, you have to know that the lowest altitude is at 60 meters, and the highest is Mount Everest, 48,000 meter. And you can really, you can, for example, arrive to Kathmandu, stay in one of the most beautiful heritage, authentic hotel that it's unique. There is only one in the world like that, because it's part of the culture, and then you can have your breakfast the next morning at 4,200 meters, with a flight going over the hilly regions of Nepal to really see actually the configuration, the geographical configuration of that country, what you don't see otherwise, It takes you just much more time, and to have this breakfast in front of the highest mountain of the earth, come back and discover a cultural UNESCO heritage site, and maybe 2 days later fly along the Himalaya to discover the Bhutanese kingdom. There are plenty of things, and you come back and you think that, okay, now we need maybe to see something totally different, and you go for a 2-day safari in the lowest regions of Nepal, where you see already the landscapes, which are totally different.
Where you also have tigers, no?
Exactly, Must be lucky to see them, but still there are tigers.
The Chitwan National Park, right?
Exactly. So there are plenty of things, but you can, for example, also do something totally else for somebody who would like to go off the beaten track, who would like to have a personalized trekking experience with comfort, but still go a little bit outside of its comfort zone, because sometimes it's good also to come back on ourselves, and be disconnected from the world that we just live in now. Everything is possible. What
do you observe with your clients? Some of them are really very wealthy, CEOs of companies, some more like accessible. But do you see a change in what clients want now when they are traveling?
I think they want something for them. They want something where they can either be disconnected and just have some time for them. Time is luxury now, and this makes the thing, everything is possible. You can have a challenge for yourself, say, okay, I'm coming because I want to challenge myself in an environment where the culture is different, and there are so many different aspects. But I think the customer now really looks for something unique, and where you can give a little bit time, and take care of the person. Even if you do a challenge and something that you would say, okay, I want to go outside of my comfort zone, but I need security in a way. But it's like, you're in a kind of bubble around you, that it's secure, but you have your challenge, you have some time for yourself, you just have something for yourself, and this is a gift.
How is it possible to organize such kind of trips, extreme trips, and also differentiate yourself compared to many other maybe tour operators that are also active in the Himalayan region? What differentiates you, what you do with your husband, versus maybe everybody else?
We are, as you said, we are organizing. We have founded this company together with my husband. My husband has an amazing expertise in the Himalayan altitudes, in organization.
How many did he climb? How many? 8,000?
He was more than 14 times on the summit of an 8,000 meter peak. He was when we went together on Mount Everest. It was his 7th time on the top of the mountain. So you know, he knows exactly.
And without oxygen?
That's a question that now at this altitude it's almost 9,000 meters. The aim was for myself to do it without oxygen, but we had to negotiate a little bit with my husband because of course it's a huge responsibility.
But he does it without, right?
He's usually doing it without. Mount Everest it's a little bit different because you know what you have to know. So it's not his pace. So they are just genetically they are just above us. It's like that in this environment. So for security reasons, we are giving our Sherpas, our expedition Sherpas, we are giving oxygen because otherwise, you know, they have the responsibility of the client too.
Yes.
So it's just a matter of security at the end.
So the particular thing is that, I mean, your husband has a huge network and he is on the spot, and you are from Switzerland, and you are somehow in between and connecting all the time, plus lawyer.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's really the thing that we are the same, whether in Switzerland or in the Himalaya, he's on place. So we don't have any intermediary. So this is what is so fascinating. Yeah, exactly.
So in some way, it's like trackability. Yeah. Whatever you do, you know what is happening from the beginning, from the reservation to the end. So you don't overpromise because you know what I promise, I can hold it. And there are so many agencies that are on the spot, but they have nobody local there whom they can 100% trust. Is that correct?
It's like in business. It's like always either you're lucky or not. That's for sure. The trust is a very important factor. And here we have just the same philosophy. So whatever, you know, the one is taking as decision and the other, it's the same philosophy. So the trust is anyways there, yeah, for sure.
In this podcast, we talk also a lot about leadership. What did you learn about leadership? You are the CEO of your own company. At the same time, you are also guiding people up. Your husband is guiding people up to super tricky, very challenging mountains, areas that can be, as you said, the death zone. What did you learn about leadership in all those expeditions?
I think one of the most, how shall I say, one of the biggest learning was really this team spirit. The team spirit, if you do not have a good team spirit, and my husband could experience it a lot, because if he would not be a good leader,
right,
his Sherpas who are supposed to bring up the other clients would not follow him. So you need to take care of them. You need to listen to them, to the other, to the other Sherpas, the one who will help you actually to bring everybody on the top. Because the aim is that everybody at the beginning everybody has the same goal, and to reach this goal you have to help yourself. And if he wouldn't, and this is the same for when I'm going with some clients, if you do not take care of the others and listen and try to arrange the things and take care of their interests, of everything, to be together, that's actually something which is so strong. And that's for sure. The team spirit is very, very, very important. And then the trust, because if you are a good leader, your employees or whoever, they will trust you. And so you can go further, and that's so important. And this in this kind of environments, if there is no good trust up there, the consequences can be really fatal.
Vital.
Yeah.
What do you do with somebody who maybe overestimated his own capacities, and when you're guiding a team, and then some of the team members say, "Oof, I can't anymore. I'm stuck." For whatever reason, what do you do?
Yeah, that's always a very interesting question, because it depends, of course, whether the person is really exhausted, and then that would be something else, exhausted or injured, or has, suddenly really is getting anxious, or if you see that it's really not feasible, that's of course that's another topic. But if you see that the person is just underestimating himself or herself, this is then again the matter of trust is coming, the element of trust is coming again up, because then you need really to to try to motivate this person, to take care of this person, and to try to give him or her the necessary trust, because you know it will be possible. But many people, you know, when we talk about Himalayas, Himalaya, I cannot go there, it's too hard, it's too difficult. But there are so many different things to do. Of course, you will not, if you have never climbed a mountain, you will not start with Mount Everest, and we will not take you, you know, as a client, because it makes no sense. It puts just everybody in danger. But if it's, you know, for whatever, it's first of all, it's just the preparation of the trip with the person, to try to discuss. And this is why it's so fascinating to be, you know, to have one step in the Alps and one step in the Himalaya, because then you can really go on and try to understand who the person is, what is his or her capabilities. And this is why we have these tailor-made trips too, because it's a whole process which start already with the preparation. Design, it's like you design a clothes or a jewelry or whatever. So you get
to know the person in advance already,
of course,
and you try to ask them lots of questions, right?
Exactly, or meet them, or, you know, have an interference with my husband, who can then really explain what these kind of environments are. But just also for a cultural trip would be same. You know, you go to high altitude. Some people will tell you, oh, but you know, if I'm arriving at 3,000, I will not be able to survive. Of course you can. But it depends how and when, and it's so fascinating actually to have a direct contact with the person, and to be able to personalize the whole journey, that it's getting a unique experience
and
for
so
them.
that you can still enjoy and not suffer.
Exactly. So there's really this preparation phases is so important.
It's key. Now, I mean, in luxury now, everybody's talking about sustainability, about responsibility, about doing things more local. I know you have a lot of projects in which you are involved and that you initiated in order to do something good to the region. Can you say something about the whole sustainability aspect of your company and your activity, actually?
That's as I said at the beginning, the purpose who drives us is really to be able to give work to the local community. So with Wild Yak Expedition and the luxury segment, it's really as much work we can give to the people on place. This is what matters for us the most.
So that they are not going away.
Exactly.
As well.
Exactly, because many Nepalese are just going abroad. They don't see their families for years. They come back, they have a little bit savings, and then the savings is gone again. They have to go back again to this whatever countries, and the life is passing, and they haven't seen their kids growing up. They haven't, you know, it's a tough world actually, and so for us, it's really as much work we can give to them. It is what matters for us. And then we have other projects. The whole thing, you know, we talk about climate change, we talk about many of these sustainability aspects, but you have to be educated to understand the different aspects of it, and this is why we have a charity organization together with my husband again.
How is it called?
The Butterfly Help Project.
Butterfly Help Project. And
exactly.
what do you do as the Butterfly Help Project?
So we started. It was created in memory of my husband's best friend who died as an expedition Sherpa during one of their expedition. And you know, when the widow, you see how the widow has then to struggle, that she's still able to bring the kids or that the kids can continue their school and education. Because then there is a lack of financial means. The husband, the father is not at home anymore. So we thought we have to do something. So we are really supporting these Sherpa families where unfortunately the dad is not there anymore, or they are facing financial, they're struggling in the financial
because there's
way.
A lot of poverty, of course, as well in the region.
Exactly. And then, you know, when you live at 3,000, 4,000 meters, there are not many possibilities to expand your businesses, and
not
depending
many schools as well.
Exactly.
Are there schools?
They are.
In the high mountains?
But they are. But sometimes one of the kids we are supporting, he takes him three hours go and back in one day to go just to school. So now we just, since we, there was a whole story being blocked in the earthquake, etc. And
because you experienced the earthquake, you'll let us know just after.
Exactly. And finally, we have decided that actually the organization expanded. It expanded in the project, but not in the manpower. So it's still us, it's the direct 10 Swiss francs goes to 10 Swiss francs on place, So this is something which is very, very important for us too. So we have started to rebuild schools that were destroyed in the earthquake. More than 6,500 schools were destroyed in 2015, in the earthquake in Nepal. And now when we have seen some of the kids, the difficulties they have to come to school, when you have 1.5 hours maybe to do in the morning. First you had to go and take care of the animals and help your parents in any houseworks, and then you go to school. You come back on sometimes dangerous tracks. Exactly. At the end of the day, you are not motivated to do your homework. It's just not
there
possible.
are other things to do in life.
Exactly. You have maybe no light to do them. So it's something that we thought, okay, let's do another project, and we have just built our own boarding school, the hostel, which will be able next year to welcome almost 50 kids.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. So they can go to school, they can stay at the school,
exactly.
They can eat at the school, they can learn.
Exactly.
And that's how you're going to make also a country, a culture, the Sherpa culture, sustainable.
Exactly.
Right?
This is what is important, because another aspect is that we are hiring specific teachers also that are specialized in the culture, the culture aspect, whether the language, the traditions, whatever. Right. So this is for us also very, very important, so that these kids are not losing their culture, because this is what is so important in a country.
Heritage is maintained.
Exactly.
Right.
This unique heritage. And then we have another project where we have just recently started. It's a kind of baby, but a startup of creating our own outdoor brand.
Wow.
Exactly.
So Wild Yak
gear.
Wild Yak gear.
Exactly. So we are creating our own clothes. My husband is designing them. We have our own manufacturer in Kathmandu, and so this is our new baby, I would say, to empower the woman. And this is really, when we had the chance, and I know yourself too, but we had the chance to study. We are living in a country where, as a woman, you are respected. So when you see sometimes, and you hear about the life stories of some of the women, you just think, come on, we can do something.
Wow.
That they have a better life. Yeah.
So you're producing on the spot. So Andrea, you were talking about your company, and I think that's the logo, right? That you created.
Exactly.
You can say something about it. What
my
does it
husband
mean?
created it. So you can see two yak's head, actually, the black one and the one in the shadow, and it's us. The big one is my husband, and the smaller one is me. So everything is really it's linked together.
Everything's linked and
connected,
like a tandem that is functioning together.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like a cordée on the mountains, actually, in many aspects. Whether in the business world or in the mountain world, when you are a cordée and you are a good cordée and a trustful cordée,
right.
Then it's you're on the same rope. You can fall at any time on one side or the other, and this is something where the trust is just
is coming in.
Yeah.
Was there a moment where you said, "I give up. It's too hard. It's too difficult to set up this project, to set up a company, and to go on"? I mean, in life there are always ups and downs.
Exactly. I think, anyway, there are ups and downs. And you can imagine we have started the latest company. We have started it in 2019, just before COVID. Everything went up quite fast and well. and suddenly the door closed. And we had the same experience with Mount Everest. In 2015, we were supposed to climb Mount Everest, and when we got stuck at 2 kilometers of the epicenter of 7.8 of the Richter scale in that earthquake. So the dream is gone again, you know, but still it's there somewhere, and we had the chance then in 2016 to put in place. So it's exactly the same with the clothes. 2020 the door closed because the country was closed for more than 7 months.
Right.
So no possibility to do anything. They were in a very, very strict lockdown, and so, you know, I think now it's starting again. The things, it's part of a climb. It's part of life. It goes up, it goes down, and you have to believe in yourself. Actually, when you believe in yourself, and you trust yourself, and you trust the other, then
it's possible.
It just go on.
It reminds me to a saying of Steve Jobs, who said, actually, if you do things without passion, you will give up as soon as it gets hard. But if you do it with passion, you go on, and you can go beyond obstacles.
Exactly, and we have an additional factor is that we don't do it for ourselves. Right. We do it for the others too. So we are driven by their actually motivation to work for us, and this is so beautiful. Actually, this drives you. Yeah.
So if somebody wants to travel to the Himalayan mountains, or maybe wants to experience an expedition, what's the best way to prepare actually to do that? You don't go there straight away, no?
No, the best way, and as I said also, you know, the fact that you personalize the whole trip, that you tailor-made this dream or this experience, one of the important factors is to start somewhere for the preparation.
Yes.
And this is why we have started as a first step to the Himalaya, with providing actually also now proposing experiences in the Alps. Yes. Whether for, you know, climbers who are already doing quite extreme climbing, but need a guide, but we have then real experiences for the first time. A person who would like, it's a dream to climb a 4,000 meter peak already, or you can have, you know, persons who are, you know, in our world we are always also searching for gifts, and the time you arrive and you think of your gift, oh, what can I offer? An experience. Why not an experience? And whether in the Alps or in the Himalaya, we can tailor-made whatever, you know. I'm from the Alps. My husband is from the Himalaya. And you don't need to go for high mountaineering. You can just have a simple first time that you wear, that you have crampons on your boots, for example. That can be an experience too.
Yes.
A glacier hike, or just to be closer to this environment, which sometimes is okay, you look at it, you say, oh, I will never be able to go there. But yes, everything is possible.
And then when you do it, you feel proud, no?
Exactly.
What an accomplishment.
Yeah, and you go outside of your comfort zone, but not necessarily. And then you can come back in amazing hotels, you know, or you can have a bivouac experience. Why not sleep under a tent with a whole comfort? A tent which has been set on 8,000 meters, and we bring it down to the Alps. It's a wonderful experience also to have sometimes, you know, sleep under the stars and have a luxury experience with whatever you would like to have, whether for food, whether for comfort. It's possible.
I want to go straight away.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Can you give maybe some advice to young people who also want to reach their summits in life? What kind of maybe qualities are important to own so that they can get up there to their highest mountains?
The self-confidence is something. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Have dreams. Have big dreams. And go on. Believe in your dreams. And maybe it will not be realized immediately, but it doesn't matter. At one point, if you believe, there is, you know, when there is a will, there is a way.
Yes.
And at the end you achieve something. And maybe, you know, we were not expecting the earthquake, not at all.
Yeah, it was not planned.
Not at all.
Nobody could know it.
No, and we would be happy if we could have just put it away. All these people wouldn't have died. These casualties wouldn't have been there. But it's like this. It's part of life. You have to take it as it comes. And so believe in yourself and continue to dream, whether even if you have an obstacle. We had once recently on an 8,000 meter, we had to renounce at 150 meters before the summit. It's okay. It's okay. The mountain is still there. We are here without any, casualties or whatever. It's part of it. And the fact to be able to renounce sometimes. Even if you are so close to your goal, you are more than 1 month in a base camp.
Did you renounce that this happened to you, that you wanted to go up and
meters.
you did not?
Yeah.
Maybe you can tell us what happened.
Yeah, it was just we were planning to do one of the 8,000 meter peak without oxygen.
Which one was it?
The Manaslu.
Manaslu?
8,163 meters.
Mountain.
Yeah, it's a beautiful mountain.
Yeah.
And it's actually, in the Sherpa's culture, it's called the wisdom mountain, the mountain of wisdom, the goddess of wisdom, because they are all divinities, these 8,000 meter peaks. And we were starting after the majority of the other groups, because we were without oxygen. Most of them are with oxygen. Right. So we needed more time to acclimatize ourselves. And when we arrived at the last camp, during the night, there was lots of wind, a little bit snowfall. That means the whole track that was used the prior days was recovered with snow. That means that if above 7,005 you have to make your own track in a deepness of snow, like
up to the
knees, exactly. It takes you already lots of time normally, but at this altitude it's just so we were late on our timing, because we fix ourselves always a very strict timing. And this is also in business the same. You have to fix yourself targets, you have to fix yourself goals. And this goal was, for us, it was not only to climb the mountain, but it was also at that time we have to be at that point.
Yes, so and it's like intermediary goals that you set
exactly,
over
exactly.
the whole
You have
track.
to adapt yourself. In business, it's same. You have to adapt yourself during the whole course of the days. Finally, and you have maybe a new team member or whatever, And here it was exactly the same. We had to adapt. I cannot say hours after hours, but half an hour after half an hour almost. And at a certain point, we said, no, we are too late. But we saw the summit. The summit was not far away.
It was
and
calling.
You say, okay, yeah, it was really calling. And then you say, okay, who is calling actually? Is it your safety or is it the summit? And the mountain is there. The mountain will always stay stronger as you.
Yes.
So you have to respect it. And at that point we said, we turn back. And it's not at all a failure, actually, not at all. I never felt it like this. In the contrary, it was, I must say, it was, I was proud of it, because if you have a competition spirit, you always want to achieve your goal.
Yes.
But now the goal was to come back safely.
Yes.
Back to the
life
base
is
camp.
even is always
It's
more
a gift.
important.
Life is a gift.
Yes.
We have received this fantastic gift, so we have to take care of it. That's normal.
And what advice would you give to leaders, company leaders, who have like all of their responsibilities on their shoulders, who have to take huge decisions for their companies and also have those goals to go onto summits? What's important so that they can really get there?
You cannot do it yourself, only by yourself. You need a team. And again, this team spirit is so important. You need a team. You need to be part of the team. And you need to have this team respecting you, but respecting them.
Right.
And the more you will respect your team members, the more they will trust you, the more they will overpass themselves to go further and further. Because imagine you are at 8,000 meters. Everybody is exhausted. Even the Sherpas are exhausted at this altitude. That's normal. It's just a normal fact. But you have to go to the top, and you have to carry maybe even more, because you have the responsibility of your clients. And in a company, it's same. You have so many responsibilities. So you have to motivate them. But to motivate them, you have to understand them, and you have to be part of them. Right. And at the end, they will follow you.
And then they will follow you. And you need to be close to them. The way they need it, and not how you need it.
It's exactly
in order to be in your glory and in your success story.
You cannot do it
always
by yourself.
The story of the whole company.
It's exactly this.
What's your next summit? I mean, your next goal. What are your next plans? For your company, for your own life.
I mean, the real, the strongest goals we have now with my husband is really to develop these companies that more people are getting work, that more people have a better life, and these are now our next Everest actually climbs. And then, of course, on personal, we have always some mountains, which it's a passion. So you have something, but it's also, you know, to be able, as I said, it is to be able to make dreams possible for the others. Everybody has a dream. Everybody has a dream, and to be able to bring this dream and to make it realize, that's now, this is our dream.
So to make it possible,
exactly.
Financial support is always important, of course, so that you can develop, go bigger.
Exactly.
The ideas, you have them, and so finance is always an important thing to make it possible. Maybe last thing, luxury is about making people dream. What's your most amazing luxury story that you have in your mind that you can think of? If you make us dream now, a moment in the Himalayan mountains.
I would say there are so many luxury moments, because luxury is also, it has several dimensions, and luxury can be a simple moment for yourself, watching a sunrise on the highest mountain on the earth in a comfortable situation, without that you have to go totally out of your comfort zone. Right. You know, that you have this moment for you, this memorable moment that nobody else can have, you know, at your place, and the pictures are not the same. This can be a luxury, but the luxury can also be to discover a culture in a way that the real luxury, like a jewelry, is in your hands. Right. And there are so many luxuries, as I said, the time you will give to see something you have dreamed of. Right. And this is why I would say there are so many examples that luxury can be realized in a way. For the sense of luxury will be for everybody different. It's like a jewelry. Everybody has another taste.
Has its own perception.
Exactly.
But I assume when you experience moments that are extreme like this, it's related to emotions, it's related to beauty, it's related to this experience that luxury is definitely about, and that you can have when you are surrounded by those amazing, phenomenal high mountains on our planet.
Yeah, and the word emotion is really something that we see it so strongly when you are in this kind of environments, actually, because you are in this immensity, and you are so small. You are so small, right. And the emotions are just overwhelming you.
Do you have one last message maybe to pass across to people? You've seen so many beautiful things in nature, glaciers as well. We are in a moment where climate is changing as well. Is there a moment maybe or a message that you can bring across in terms of people's behavior, people's perception, that things get better again?
Yeah, as I said, life is a gift that we received, but the nature is a precious jewelry, and it's just so beautiful. And the emotion can be so strong. We have to respect it. We have to learn from it. And this is when you go, for example, on place, you realize how much it is changing now. We have to keep in mind the nature will always stay stronger as us, always. So we have to realize that aspect and try to act now in order to save what remains to save now. Yeah.
Andrea, namaste for this amazing discussion that we had. You made me dream. I hope you made everybody dream now with all those powerful messages as well about life, about the future, about nature, about respect, about responsibility, about also culture that we need to preserve, not only in the Himalayan area, but in the world, right? And so if you appreciated this discussion as much as I did, share this podcast, this video cast with your friends. Comment on it as well, what you saw. Maybe you also and already experienced some nature expeditions, some mountain climbings, some personal feelings that you had when you were in stunning places like in mountains or maybe at the seaside. I think there are so many beautiful nature experiences that we can have. That's luxury. So share it, comment on it, and I'm already looking forward to welcoming you to our next episode. And here we are going to travel to a very different planet. Bye-bye.